Good evening and welcome into the Wednesday edition of WHKY-TV News. Rob Eastwood in for Ralph Mangum once again. A cooler day today across the greater Hickory metro, but we had lots of sunshine and it was still fairly pleasant for late December with temperatures rising into the upper 50s. Fentress Chestnut has the outlook for the coming days in the weather forecast later on in the news. Jason Savage has high school basketball holiday tournament scores in local sports. We'll also hear from Sarah Principe with the City of Hickory towards the end of tonight's show. Topping our news tonight, numerous drug, weapon, and theft charges were filed against a Conover man who was locked up under a large bond amount. 28-year-old Justin Lynn Brandon of 13th Street Northeast in Conover was arrested Tuesday by Hickory police officers. He's charged with 4 counts of possession of a firearm by a felon, 2 counts apiece of felony possession of cocaine, possession of methamphetamine, felony probation violation out of county, simple possession of Schedule 2 and 4 controlled substance, and resisting a public officer. Brandon is also charged with single counts of possession with intent to manufacture, sell, and deliver cocaine, meth, and heroin, simple possession of Schedule 1 controlled substance, discharging a weapon into an occupied dwelling or moving vehicle, possession of marijuana up to 1/2 ounce, possession of marijuana paraphernalia, larceny of a motor vehicle, injury to personal property, felony possession of a stolen firearm, misdemeanor possession of stolen goods or property, assault on a female, and interfering with emergency communications. Brandon was initially arrested in October following complaints of drug trafficking at St. Stephen's Mobile Home Park. At that time, Brandon reportedly gave officers a false name. He was charged with possession of cocaine in October and was also charged with giving police a fake name. Brandon was apprehended Tuesday on Lenore Boulevard by Hickory police. Following the arrest, he was jailed in the Catawba County Detention Facility under $314,000 total bond. District and Superior Court appearances were scheduled for today. Brandon also has a district court date February 15th and a Superior Court appearance scheduled for February 16th. 2016 was considered a banner year for North Carolina's Division of Motor Vehicles as it continued to implement Governor Pat McCrory's Driving Change initiative. WHKY's Fentress Chestnut reports from the Hickory DMV.
Over the last year, various DMV offices across the state extended their hours and online services became more available. Driver's license examiners also received more customer service training. According to a news release from the North Carolina Department of Transportation, the year's signature accomplishment occurred in September when the number of drivers who used DMV's online services to renew their license surpassed 500,000 people. DMV officials estimate that more than 602,000 citizens will have renewed their driver's license online by the end of the year. The news release says improvements took place offline as well. In June, the DMV introduced mandatory customer service training for all driver license examiners. A total of 120 classes were held in 2016. DMV introduced new mobile driver license offices in March. The units, which are the first of their kind in the nation, carry 2 examiner stations and serve more remote parts of the state. In September, mobile units were used to offer driver license services at Fort Bragg for the first time since 2008. Throughout the year, 50 driver license offices were renovated and upgraded with modern equipment as part of a program to optimize all 113 offices across the state. DMV also expanded operating hours at its busiest offices across the state, including weekend hours in some locations. In September, DMV announced it would no longer require road sign tests for drivers renewing their licenses, and nearly 300 citizens renewed their driver licenses at the DMV booth during the North Carolina State Fair, which was held in October. During the response to Hurricane Matthew, more than 100 agents with the DMV license and Theft Bureau were deployed to affected areas of eastern North Carolina and provided security to various shelters. DMV also proactively educated consumers about how to avoid purchasing flood-damaged vehicles. In the wake of Hurricane Matthew, Governor McCrory directed the DMV to temporarily waive certain fees for customers in counties affected by the storm, which resulted in hurricane victims saving more than $977,000 in license and vehicle fees. In February, DMV offices will start issuing real ID compliant driver licenses and ID cards in anticipation of the federal government beginning enforcement of real ID requirements at airport security checkpoints on January 22, 2018. Right now, real IDs are not mandatory in our state, but in January 2018, they will be required to fly on an aircraft, and our DMVs are working very diligently to make sure that happens in compliance with the Real ID Act. For more information, you can visit WHKY.com. Reporting in Hickory, I'm Fentress Chestnut, WHKY News.
Thanks, Fentress. An officer-involved shooting is under investigation in Gaston County on Tuesday at approximately 3:10 p.m. A member of the State Highway Patrol stopped a Honda passenger vehicle for a traffic violation on West Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. Preliminary information reveals during the stop, the trooper learned the driver was on probation and had outstanding warrants. As the trooper attempted to arrest him, the driver assaulted the trooper with his vehicle, causing the trooper to fire his weapon, injuring the driver. At the request of the Highway Patrol, the State Bureau of Investigation is conducting the shooting investigation. The trooper has been placed on administrative leave pending an internal investigation, as is standard operating procedure in any patrol-involved shooting. Coming up next, Fentress returns with details on a new name on an area most wanted list, also information about a business break-in in Hickory, and more in today's crime report. Stay with us here on WHKY-TV News.